Before I start this review, I should note that this exotic's performance varies between console and PC. I play on console, so this and all my other reviewers are told from the perspective of a PS4 player. Just a heads up. Bastion is an exotic fusion rifle that regularly fucks the entire Crucible community. If you do not have this thing, you have been killed by this thing. The gimmick behind Bastion is that it's a kinetic fusion rifle that fires 3 bursts of 3 slugs, which each do a fair amount of damage at range. Now, if you're one of the 10 people that has never gone up against Bastion, what you have to understand is that this thing fucking annihilates everything at range. You may have noticed the at range caveat I keep attaching to this gun. This is due to the one major flaw in this exotic, the one saving grace to any unfortunate soul unlucky enough to go up against it. That being the range, and the damage falloff that comes with that range. It is a total bitch! This thing's range caps out at about a little above max shotgun range, and if you try to use this at anything other than that range, it goes from being to one of the deadliest guns in the Crucible to being a marshmallow launcher. However, if used properly within the fairly limited range, it'll ruin everybody's day. So, with a strong PvP performance, surely it can't be too far behind in PvE, right? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen anybody using Bastion in PvE? No? Well, that's for a fucking reason! I'm gonna be honest, it's not as bad as I thought it would be when I first used it in PvE, but that is really not saying much. Bastion's biggest problem in PvE is once again the piss poor range. The damage fall off is even more noticeable in PvE, especially if you're trying to use this thing like a normal ass fusion rifle. And seeing as it does about the same amount of damage as a normal ass fusion rifle, it just calls into question why you wouldn't use a normal ass fusion rifle. Or a shotgun. Or a sidearm. Or an SMG. Or a Bastion's other big problem is that it adds nothing to the fact that it's an exotic. I mean, the exotic perk just lets it overpenetrate shields a little bit, which I could see being useful for something like match game, but seeing as just using the matching element isn't terribly hard and is far more effective, there is next to no reason to have Bastion take up your exotic slot. Overall, rating this thing is like trying to rate Death Stranding, in that there's a sort of dichotomy between the varying performances of the gun's two halves. In PvP, it's soul-crushingly good, and in PvE, it's soul-crushingly not. I suppose I'll give Bastion a 4 out of 7, and the collective tears of everyone it's ever killed in the Crucible.